Hi guys. So I'm just going to quickly run through for people who are thinking about or have been curious about working with me but not sure, do I reach out, do I not? Do I is this suitable for me? Is it not? Is this going to be okay for my horse or is it not? This is just to answer some questions or give you a clearer idea, I guess, of who I work with and who I don't work with. And how to have a conversation with me from there. So just a moment, I'll get my notes and we'll get started. So I'm going to start by saying we're basically halfway through the year. Seems crazy. This rain has really slowed things up for a lot of people. People who I have been working with for the last number of months, our progress has really slowed down because of the rain and we've had to postpone a lot and things like that. So but more to the point, we're nearly halfway through the year now and we're looking at, so June's coming up, we've got June, July, August, September, October are beautiful months for riding. And the question I want to put to you at this point is, are you ready to go out and ride and to do those things that you've been wanting to do this year? Have you been able to put the time in and stuff up to this point to be able to get out and do those rides later on? So like some of you want to, this is what people have been telling me, they want to join the Breakaway Club, which is an awesome little club, and do some trail rides. They want to ride on the beach, they just want to get out with friends, or they just want to ride on your own property and feel safe doing so. Or you've got things on your bucket list that you want to start to tick off this year. And the question I have for you right now is, if you keep doing what you've been doing, weather permitting, if you keep doing what you've been doing for the past couple of months, are you going to be ready come like August, September, October, November? Are you going to be ready to go out and do those rides and things that you want to do and like that you've been wanting to do forever? Yeah, so we've kind of got June, July, and then we're right into beautiful, well, if it stopped raining, it would be beautiful riding weather right now, but you know what I'm saying. Time is limited. And then summer's back again in December. So I really want to help people this year to get on track and get your horse, get those little dramas sorted out and start to do the things that you really want to do and that you enjoy without the dramas. So so working with me, so this is for people who like if you want to feel confident on your horse, if you want to feel safe on your horse, you want to go out and enjoy riding and for it not to be a struggle, and you also really want to develop a strong and a special bond with your horse, then yes, I work with those people as well as some others. But specifically, I'm more specifically talking about riders who are in my chill program, the group mentorship, and what those riders like, what level they're at and what their aims are and whether this would be a good fit for you or not. I also have some other ways I work with people as well, but I'm more specifically right now talking about the chill group mentorship. So this mentorship would be for you if you're perhaps getting back into riding but you've lost some confidence, whether maybe you've had a fall at some point, or whether you just feel like, I don't have the bravado that I had when I was a teenager. I don't know, maybe don't know why you've lost confidence, but there is a very good reason for that, why you don't feel the same now as you did when you were perhaps a teenager. I won't go into that now, but that's really common and there's a good reason for that. But this is also for people that maybe you're already riding out, maybe you're already getting out with friends, riding on your property, doing breakaway trail rides or things like that. But you're coming up against the same issues kind of over and over again with your horse. And it's not getting better at the pace that you would like it to be getting better. So that could be things like, just some things that come to mind are like horses that don't seem to not want to be ridden, or when you get them out on the trail, they're like jig jogging the whole time, or you're having a hard time pulling back, or they just feel like they're going to explode. And maybe you are a good rider and you can ride them through some stuff, but it just doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good for you, and it certainly doesn't feel good for the horse either, because they're in this state of angst. Also, things like floating issues, spooking, maybe they're just not listening to you when you pick up on a rein or things like that. They're getting nervous. Sometimes that will be like they're nervous sort of on their own. And sometimes they're picking up on your nerves, and that sort of exacerbates everything. Maybe you feel like when you're riding them, they're just kind of on autopilot, and they're just doing like they've got the thing in mind that they're doing, and you can ask for something different, and it takes a lot to break through that to get to their mind and then get to their body and get something different than what they think that they're supposed to be doing. Or maybe they've just fixated on where they're going, like going home, going to their mates, or going wherever. So I help with all those sorts of things. And so what you really want, what you'd rather be doing, what you'd rather have with you and your horse is to feel chilled out, relaxed, having fun, like feeling good when you go for a ride together, and not feeling like it's drama, it's struggle, it's am I going to get dumped? Is this horse going to embarrass me today? And you also want to be able to pick up on a rein or use your leg and get an immediate response to that, like feeling like what you think and what you put through your body is connected directly to the horse, and like you ask for something and it's just there. There's not this blockage that you have to get through to get to communicate with your horse. You want your horse tuned into you. That's really what I'm describing here. You want them tuned into you, your body, your thoughts, not everything else around, not the other horses, not where's home, not the food, not the birds in the trees. So that's what we aim to, that's sort of the dynamic that I aim to set up and help people with, is that you and your horse go together as one. There's a real connection. There's a real a trusting bond there. There's a partnership that's sort of like a living, breathing thing. You're not like these two polar opposites that you've got to try to connect to them when you're riding. Like you want to have that partnership when you start, like in your ground, when you catch them, and then in your groundwork, and then when you're riding, and then when you go to do more difficult things, that partnership carries you all the way through. What I see a lot of people having is like there's sort of this disconnect, or this weird dynamic when they're catching, and then the groundwork's sort of working, but it's not really. And then they get on the horse's back and they want the horse to follow their instructions. Naturally, we do. And there's a fight about it. There's resistance, there's miscommunication, there's confusion a lot of the time on the horse's part. You want to have a partnership that just flows, like it's easy to do stuff with your horse. And you want to have the ability to have a go at some really cool stuff. Like we've all got dreams and aspirations, and maybe it's not a reality right now, or maybe it seems like it'll never be a reality, but there's things on your bucket list, and maybe it's simple things like joining up with, like I mentioned, the Breakaway Club and going riding with them, or maybe you want to have a go at cowboy dressage. Maybe you just want to go to clinics with your mates and have a good experience and not have drama. Maybe you want to ride at Liberty, like that is so fun. Maybe you want to ride at Liberty on the beach. This stuff is possible if you have a good relationship with your horse and their mind is with you. When their mind is with you, their body is with you. It's very easy to influence and direct them in a way that feels good for both of you. And like, I know that all these things are possible for you. Do you know it? Or are you kind of stuck back in, like, we've got these problems here and I can't see past them? And those things on my bucket list are just like way off, unrealistic. Through my program, I want to, like I said, get you and your horse to gel together and make those things achievable, and even start to do them while we're working together. So this is the work that I do. This is the work that I've been doing, like, with clients for the last 5 years or so, getting horse and human to really gel together and take your horsemanship skills to a brand new level. So what we tend to do as a society is that when a horse is broken in or trained in a certain thing, it's like, well, it's done that, it knows how to do that, and we tend to think that it's done, like, we just come along and ride the horse now. And if you're watching this, I'm sure you know that that doesn't work, because horses are a living being. They're learning all the time, they're learning from us, and they adjust to what we present to them, how we ride, who we are to them. They shift, and that's totally normal and natural. And so that means that if you want to have a great partnership with your horse and you want to go and do those cool things, you need to be a person that your horse can trust. And you need to be a person who has the understanding of how to help your horse and how to direct your horse and how to train them even, because essentially that's what we're doing as riders, is we're constantly training them for good or for bad. But you need to assist them to do those things. You need to be a person that your horse can do those things with, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I help you be that person, learn the skills to be that person, and the mindset. There's a lot of mindset in that. I work with all kinds of horses. I love working with problem horses because they're not really problems for the most part. And I'll just touch again on, like, who do I work with? I mentioned before a little bit about that, but as far as prerequisites, I work with people who are already riding, like, you've got some experience, you're not a raw beginner, because this is not about teaching you how to ride as such. Like, we may touch on some riding skills, but this is more about who to be for your horse and those skills that are going to help you to navigate whatever it is that you want to do with your horse. So 2 things that are top of mind for me in terms of prerequisites are, you have to value your own safety. Likely, if you don't, you wouldn't be following me, because it's something that I talk about a bit, and I'm not all about, like, putting your big girl pants on and doing silly things. So definitely your safety needs to be top of mind for you, because it's going to be top of mind for me when we're working together. I'm not going to push you to do things that you and your horse are not prepared for. And if that's what you're expecting from me as a coach, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to be annoyed. So that's number one. Number two, you need to really value, right after your own safety, you really need to value your horse's well-being and your horse's soundness. Again, I'm not going to push your horse to do things that they are not physically and mentally prepared for. I'm not going to compromise their well-being or their soundness, and I'm actually looking to build that stuff, which is something that clashes with a lot of what is taught in some other circles as far as biomechanics. Some things that we've been taught and that I've been taught earlier on and used a lot in previous years actually damages the horse's soundness. And so there are certain things I don't do anymore, and there are certain things that I now do teach. Yes, sometimes that means we've got to take a step backwards, and we've got to, well, it's not really backwards, but we've got to deviate from doing certain exercises or deviate from the training plan in order to help the horse be physically comfortable, mentally ready, have the coping skills and the capacity to learn what it is, or to do the activities, or to go out to the show, or whatever it is that we want to do. And so that it can feel like an interruption in the process, but it's actually an investment in your horse. So those are prerequisites for working with me. And, you know, like I said, if you're here watching this, you're probably on board with those things anyway. So what's the next step? You know, if you've been curious about working with me, or you like my philosophies, or, you know, I've been putting a message out, maybe not so much just lately, but the message of developing a chilled out, calm, connected relationship with your horse. And I have a program in which we do that together. If you're curious about that and want to know what the next step is, basically contact me and we'll have a chat. Get in touch with me. You can either send me well, it doesn't matter, just however you want, but send me a private message on like on Facebook, or you can email me at info@focusedequine.com.au. My phone number, I'll put it in the comments. I'll put my phone number in the comments, or just go to my Facebook page. But what we will do is just have a chat about, like, okay, where are you at? Where's your horse at? What things are going well? What things are you having problems with? What experience do you have? What experience does your horse have? Just to get a really clear picture of the situation. And then I want to know, okay, what do you want to get to? Like, what's on your bucket list? What are the things that you've been wanting to do probably for years, and, you know, it hasn't quite worked out, or you haven't had the time, or your horse doesn't feel like they're up to that, or maybe your confidence isn't up to that. Like, what are those things that you want to do? And we're going to have a look at, okay, you're here, and this is what you want to be doing. This is what you got your horse for. And we're going to have a look at, like, what are the steps, or what are the missing pieces, either for you or for your horse, both, to get to there. And from that, we're going to know, okay, can I help you? Can I help you achieve that through my programs or through working with me? Or is there some other way that's more suited to you, and where your horse is at? So, and, you know, we'll have a talk about as well, like, the logistics of it, like, where do you live? Because I do mobile work, I come to you. Where do you live? What times a day are you available to work one-on-one with me? Because I have private sessions with you. We also have, in my main program, we also have what I call the chill outings. where you can bring your horse out, and it's like a safe, like a low stress environment for you and your horse to really get good at going out somewhere together and being chilled about that, being with other horses, being in a new place, those sort of things. And also, obviously, we'll talk about budget as well. Like, I have set prices for things, but I also have, you know, we can work something out for the most part. Yeah, so there's no arm twisting. Obviously it is like a sales call, as in I do have something to sell you. I do want to help people, but I'm not going to be pushing it down your neck. I really want to look at, okay, what's the best option for you? Is this suitable for you right now or not? And, you know, we can come to that conclusion, and there's no pressure to work with me. If there's other options, I'm certainly going to, like, if I think there's a better option for you, I'm certainly going to let you know. Yeah, so why should we chat? Because the year is passing quickly. I have limited time in which I can drive around and see people and help you one-to-one, especially when it's raining, like I've got to rebook people. So yes, if you want to get on my books sooner rather than later is going to be in your favor, also price-wise. And just to put things in perspective, and I mentioned this at the start, but if you keep doing what you've been doing for the next couple of months, are you going to be ready and confident to take your horse out and do the things that you want to do? If not, what support are you going to get? What help are you going to get to make it happen? And if you don't book in a call with me today and talk with me, like, when are you going to make this happen? When are you going to decide that it's time for you to do this for yourself, and it's worth putting the time and the investment aside to get this working for you? Like, a lot of people that I talk to have kind of put themselves on the back burner for months or years, and they struggle to go, you know, to do that for themselves. But what I'm saying is, if you don't do it now, like, when are you going to do it? And look, there is so much potential that I see for you and your horse. You know, when I see a horse, a problem horse especially, like, I see the potential that that horse has to be a safe, fun riding mount. Because underneath all of their issues is a horse with a horse's nature, and the horse's nature is good and it's beautiful, and they just want to get along with us. So, you know, there's so much potential for you and your horse that you're missing out on if you don't make a move and start getting things happening for yourself this year, or now. Do it now. Okay, get in contact now. We'll have a chat. And worst case scenario, you're going to go away with a number of steps, like I mentioned to you. It's like the missing pieces. This is what you need to look at. This is what your horse likely needs from you. This is the kind of support that you might need for where your experience is at. Worst case scenario, you're going to get those suggestions and you can go run with them if you decide not to work with me. So, any questions, you know, outside of that, just drop me a message and I'll be more than happy to have a chat to you. So, yeah, let's get it happening.